Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo's Crochet More. This is your host Crystal, and today I have an unbagging from Amazon. I was expecting this yesterday, Saturday, September, wow, June 6th. It didn't come till today, June 7th, which is Sunday. You will see this on Wednesday, June 10th. This is my latest Amazon purchase. Let's see. I did show you guys my Tunisian crochet hooks that I recently got. This is to go along with that. If I can get this to open. There we go. Now I did opt for the spiral version because I don't mind books that don't have a spiral, but it's much easier to look at this information if I can fold the book in half. And it lays flat instead of being kind of bumped up in the middle from the binding. So I purchased Tunisian Crochet, a stitch dictionary with 501 stitches to explore. Now, oddly enough, I did find this at Michael's. I went to Hobby Lobby for the clearance items, and there was nothing left that I wanted. They had the scrubby yarn from Lion Brand, the Soak Stitch It, or Stitch It, Soak It, whatever. They still had a few of those, and those were only 50% off at my store. They were $1.99, normally $3.99. And the only other thing that I found that had a red sticker on it was a little pouch that had accessories in it, like to check the size of your hook or needle. It had little stitch markers in it, the clippy ones that I would consider more for sewing than crochet or knitting. I know that Jada and Stitches uses them, but for me, I prefer the safety pin style. But everybody has their preferences, and I didn't think they were that great of a deal because they were, I think, $4.49 for them, and they were like about $10, maybe even more than that originally. They did have a little gnome on them. Everything that was marked down, those shelves were completely empty. So Michael's is right across the street. So I was like, well, let me go check to see what kind of clearance they have. Well, they had the same thing that was there the last time. That skyscraper, sky something. If you've been a member for Affordably Crafty with Kim, she went to her Michael's and she had actually more stuff on clearance than my Michael's did. And I also seen the new prices for the Karen cakes. Oh heck no, $14.99. You've got to be. I mean, I get it. Everything's going up, but if the sizes of those start going down, and we have shrinkflation where the price is going up and the product size is going down, that's not cool. If they're staying the same size, that's one thing. But if they're going down in how much you're getting, ounces or yardage or any of that, that's not cool in my opinion. But I did look to see what kind of books they had, because they do have crochet and knitting books. They do have some at the end, like the end of an aisle in like a magazine rack that they put some of them, and then the rest of them are out in like the center aisle. Now I don't know how everybody else's Michael's looks, but they had this one there in the regular bind, not the spiral, for $25. And I know that they have it, you can get it paperback, spiral bound, or Kindle version on Amazon. Now, this one I paid, well, I didn't pay, I used some of my money that I've been getting back from you guys purchasing from Premiere. My brain's not braining right this moment, so sorry if I keep going off the thought with how I'm talking. My husband just left to go on his bike ride. He's not going to be gone very long, so I'm just getting this video done today for Wednesday. Now tomorrow, which will be you'll see Tuesday I'll be working on the stitch tutorial tomorrow for Tuesday for you. Now, I really liked this book when I saw it on Amazon. Like I said, it's got 501 stitches to explore. You can see on the front that there's a cable stitch. There's a weird stitch there on this one. They've got this one here, which looks like the simple stitch, but it might not be the Tunisian simple stitch. And they've got some other ones on here I have never done before. I know that Jada in Stitches did a calendar blanket with Tunisian crochet, and she did 12 different stitches, and then you put it together as a blanket. But there's 501 in this one. This one's by Lori Harrison. Nice colorful pictures. Nice thick pages too, so that's nice. They're not really flimsy. They're flimsy, but they're not extremely flimsy. And this gives like step-by-step instructions with pictures. Look at this. It tells you 1, do your chain, 2, go into the back bump, 3 to pull up your loops, and 4 for the return. And then, she's got it written down. And then on the 5, she's got how it should look when you're done. Because there's 2 rows to your complete, I guess you could say complete row. You do 2 rows. You do a forward row and then a backward row. Forward, then a backward. So you're always you're never turning your work unless it tells you how to. It tells you to do that in the work. But I don't think you ever turn your work in Tunisian crochet. She goes over how to bind off, which is cool. It's not that hard. Like I've mentioned before, I did Tunisian crochet because that was the easiest thing for me to pick up to start with scarves. Obviously I wasn't in hats yet at that point. I was just making scarves for everybody. And then it turned into making blankets for everybody. And when I did blankets, I didn't do any Tunisian crochet for blankets. That was all regular crochet. And then it goes over an anatomy of Tunisian crochet. She gives you good pictures with a darning needle, tapestry needle, on how to find each one of the bars. So if you don't know how to find it, it's here. And I will be reviewing this, like I said, not this month, but probably in July. I will start with doing a Tunisian Thursday stitch tutorial, starting with the simple stitches and going up from there. If I make anything with any of the stitches, I will provide a tutorial for them. Yeah, so the first chapter, that was just basically getting to know how to identify different things with Tunisian crochet. Now, I did not notice, let me see here. I thought that it was in this one, but maybe I missed it. Okay, no, not there. Maybe it's under... She's got a thing for if you're using a graph, because she does have graphs in here, how to differentiate the symbols, how to use the stitch dictionary. So there's different things to use there for the symbols. Pretty close to some of them being similar to regular crochet symbols. Not all of them, but very similar. Let me see. I know that I thought this book had it. Okay. No, not back there. I thought this book had where it tells you if it's a certain, it's recommended to go up at least 1 to 2 hook sizes for Tunisian crochet. What's recommended off of the label. So if it recommends a 5 millimeter, you want to bump it up to a 6 or 6.5 or 7 if you even have it, because these stitches will get tight, and if your stitches are too tight, it will cause curling of your project, and you won't notice it till you're working a little bit more in the rows. Your bottom will start to curl up. I did have that happen a little bit on one of the scarves that I made, but I was able to get that fixed pretty easily with some what do they call that, where you wet it and then you put it on the pegboard. I can't think of the name of it. It's not in my vocabulary right this moment. And you'll probably be yelling at me what it's called. Which is fine. Now there's different things in here about different stitches. I'll show you some more of the elaborate stitches. I do like that they went with using colors photos, because a lot of books do not have color photos, or the color that they use is very hard to see the actual stitch, because it doesn't, the yarn that they used did not give very good stitch definition. Here is the Tunisian full stitch in the round, so they do help you learn how to make things in the round as well. So it's not just back and forth. You can work in the round. And here's a picture of something that was Tunisian crocheted in the round. So that's pretty cool. I know I will have to say that I did get Tony TL Yarn's book in the Kindle version, and I did not like how that worked out. I like watching her channel from time to time. I know she's a big Tunisian crocheter. She does do some regular crochet as well. But for me, there wasn't anything about like, what's the stitch multiple? How many stitches do you need to, how many chains do you need to start with for this one? The only one that I saw that for was the chevron style. And that kind of and then I started looking at other books, because I'm just like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. I looked, and there was nothing about like saying, okay, count, chain up an even number, chain up an odd number, chain 10 plus, multiples of 10, things like that. I did not see that anywhere in her book. Like I said, except for the chevron style Tunisian. But otherwise, it's not in there. And I'm guessing that maybe that means you could, chain up how many ever you want, unless it states that you need to have a multiple of something. Now, here's another one. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's quite a few different types of stitches in here. So they even have mosaic stitches. Tunisian mosaic stitch. T-moss. Using extended Tunisian moss stitch. Oh, I don't know what the heck the TMSS means, but I'll show you a picture of what it looks like. I'm going to try to cover up anything that should not be shown. So that's pretty cool. That makes it, you're working in a square with this one. You're not. It looks like you're changing. So mosaic colorwork charts are different from standard charts. The return pass is omitted. Each row uses a single color, and the colors alternate every row. Only the Tunisian mosaic, TMOS, stitches are labeled, and they're worked into the prior row, which is the same color. Boxes with no stitch labeled are TSS. That's Tunisian simple stitch. So that's, that's more advanced stitches. They do go over, here is a picture for color work stitches. I'm trying to get this to, it's new, so it doesn't want to cooperate with me very well. Come on, there we go. Okay, so here is a picture of different ways that you can use color work with Tunisian. Let's see. These are all different chapters, so all right, that's that one. Okay, cable stitches. Cable stitches. That's like a diagonal cable, and that's another one up there in the corner. Let's see. This next one's a short one. Lace stitches. So it's not just a, a regular design. You can use different types of stitches with Tunisian. This one's a big one for the next chapter. This one is stitch patterns. So those are those. A little bit of a sample of what kind of stitch patterns are going to be in here. And then going back to the basic stitches here, I think that's all the same color in the corner. Yeah, basic Tunisian crochet stitches and variations. So even though there's a Tunisian simple stitch, there's different ways that you can use that same. Oh, let me move my hands on the. So I will be reviewing this. Like I said, I will be starting in July. On Thursdays will be Tunisian stitch tutorials. Thursday Tunisian stitch tutorials. Say that 10 times fast. Blocking. That's what it's called. Blocking. I also added like tassels on the end of it too. And I kind of learned that I may have needed to go up another hook size. Back then I was just using the long straight ones that my husband got for me off of Amazon. I did use those quite a bit, and the way that the sizing was labeled on them was at the stopper, and it was just stamped on like an ink stamp. So it wore off really quickly. So this one I hope that I got does not, and I'll show you those again in case you missed that unbagging. Well, I took it out of the bag already. I didn't leave it in the bag like I did today's because it was in paper, and so this is the set that I got, and it's interchangeable hooks. So you use the different size up here depending on how large of a project you're doing, and you can attach two of them together. If that information is incorrect and I find out that you can't, I will let you know. It comes with little stoppers that you can use, little keys to tighten the connectors, either the connector from the original, or if you need to add more length to it, there's another extra connector here for that too. And a little pink cloth for wiping off, maybe when you're done wiping off your hooks. I have no idea. I still don't know what that's for. And a little rubber, unless that little rubber thing could be attached to, say, no, because the stopper doesn't. I still don't know what this is used for. If you know what this black circle is used for with Tunisian crochet in this set, let me know in the comment section. Because I'd really like to know that. And these are the little stoppers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So can't do more than 4 projects at a time. But there's 4. There's the colors. There's 2 gold, I think, a pink, pinkish purple, and a blue. To use to stop the yarn from falling off your cable. I showed how easily this was to put together in the unboxing video. So yeah, so stay tuned because next month we'll be doing some Tunisian crochet. I do have to practice it for a little bit. That's why I'm saying that it's not going to be till July. And if I find that that's too soon, it may not be till August, but I will keep you guys up to date on that. And if you bought this book before, what did you think of it? Did you like the information? Did you find it difficult? Do you like these types of books where it gives you all the pictures and the instructions so you know you can refer back to that picture and go, oh, that's where I need to go, type of thing? Because if you don't know which bar you're working from, because I do know that some of these work in the vertical bar, the front bar, and the back bar. And was there another one in here? Was there another one? I think there was another one. Let me see here. Here it is. Okay. Vertical, back, top horizontal, which is the top of the V-stitch. The front loop is what we would call it in crochet. The back horizontal bar would be like the back loop in regular crochet. And then the bottom horizontal bar, which is underneath, or actually before your front vertical bar. So there's so many different places that you could place your hook, and if you don't know exactly where you're supposed to place it, that can change the stitch altogether. So, yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you, if you're interested in learning how to Tunisian crochet, it's real. I think the very first few stitches are not that hard to learn. As the stitches get more advanced, it might be a little bit more difficult, but it's not, I don't think it's that hard right this moment. I don't think it's that hard. It's easier to me than knitting. I've actually tried to pick that back up. I used to knit when I was in school. We learned how to knit in school. I just kind of kicked myself for never asking my grandmother to teach me either to crochet or knit or both, because she did both. She knitted and she crocheted. She knitted washcloths, dishcloths for us. I know I've mentioned this before, but she's knitted those, and she made baby clothes and blankets when we were older. I think it was supposed to be for our, I want to say 30th birthday, but I obviously got mine before that because she passed away before that birthday. And it could have been something in my I don't know. I can't remember exactly what age it was we were supposed to get that blanket, because she had nine grandchildren. My mom, me, my sister, my 2 sisters, my brother, me, that's 4, and my aunt and uncle had 5 girls. So there was 9 altogether to make, and it was set for a certain age. So she wasn't, I guess, feeling overwhelmed if she did it sooner than like I did, because I really did I pushed myself to the limit. And there was a few times I got so aggravated because some of the stitches, you really have to listen to your yarn, because sometimes the stitch that you want to use is not what's appropriate for that yarn. You could try it any way you want, but until you get the right stitch for it, it's not going to work out like you want it to. Oh, excuse me. So I had started this. This is kind of a, I had one skein. I still have I haven't weaved in my ends yet, of Lion Brand Ombre, the Mandala Ombre in the color Cool. And I got this from one of the local yarn shops in Virginia. She only had the one. It was on clearance because there's a little red sticker here to notate that it was reduced. So I started this. I was going to make a scarf with the extended single crochet stitch, and it just was not working out for me. My ends were not getting even. I don't know what was going on with it. So after I did the half double crochet V-stitch tutorial, I decided to pull that all out. And this is what it came out to be. So I call it snow day because it reminds me of clean snow and dirty snow at the same time. Here, I'll stand up and put it around me here real quick. Again, I didn't have enough to go another row, so I just ended it here. I didn't put anything fancy around it or nothing. So it's a pretty long and nice width of a scarf, in my opinion. If you're someplace where it's cold in the wintertime, this would be a great one to have, and you can wrap it around. Or you can wrap it the other way. Whichever you prefer. Oh, that thing's getting on my nerves. There we go. And you still have enough, if you want to, wrap it twice. Keep your face and your neck warm. I have family that lives in Ohio, and it gets pretty chilly up there, but I don't know. It gets pretty dang chilly down here in Texas where I'm at, which is so odd. But yeah, it happens, and when it does, everything's shut down. So, you took the whole skein. I wanted to use the whole skein for one project, and I did. So that there took me a little bit because I worked on it after work, sometimes during work. Shh, if you work with me. I don't know how many people from my work actually watch this video. I've told you guys, I've told them that I'm on YouTube. I don't know if they watch me or not. Excuse me. Okay. Alright, so if you, let me see here. I think I did 30. I chained up 30 because it is a multiple of 3 plus, I do believe, 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, because it's every, yeah. I told you my brain's not braining today. I'm not used to doing my videos on Sundays, but it is what it is. Hubby was home yesterday because we had rain all morning. It finally started clearing up later in the afternoon, but it was too late for him to go out riding yesterday. So we did a snack video yesterday, which you will see on Saturday. We did the Pop Daddy chips and a couple of the pretzels from the pretzel box. So check that out on Saturday. You will, if you want to come back later, I will be doing a video on the Premier Yarns sales for this week. So I will be after 1 o'clock EST because I work until 12 p.m. CST. So it'll be sometime after that I get that posted. It just depends on how fast I can get that done and uploaded. As long as YouTube doesn't take forever to upload it, will be great. But yeah, and I've been working on the Mary Maxim blanket, not the one with the crystal yarn in it. It's the one that I got before with the bundle up yarn. Oh, that yarn is so soft. I thought it was soft in the skein, or skein, however you pronounce it. But working it up, it's even so much softer. I'm not even sure if I have enough yarn. I really don't. I've worked it up. I've gone through 3 things of the bluish green color. And it's supposed to be 7 balls altogether for that. I only have 2 more left, and I feel like I'm either missing one of them somewhere in my living room, like I misplaced it because it wasn't inside the bag that I keep them in when I'm working on those projects. So hopefully I can get a little further along today, and maybe I'll be back on either Thursday or Friday with an update saying, hey, I finally finished it. It'll be the first one that I finished. Because I still have the square one, that one, and the crystal one, which, I don't know. That one seems to be, I have it underneath my desk in the bag still. This one seems like it might be, this one uses a 5. 12 double crochet. So, I'll have to look at the instructions, but I think this is another type of blanket with a bobble stitch or puff stitch. It's a puff stitch. Yeah. It's a puff stitch in this one. But we'll see. This one might not take as long as there's only 4 of these in here. And I know this has got some good yardage because I made a star blanket in another color. And I only used one of them. Maybe 2. I had 2. I think I used both. And it turned out pretty big. So 4 of these, that shouldn't be. And I will be using a smaller hook with it too. So we'll see. I might just go jump to this one and go back to the square one later at another time. Because I like granny squares, but it's a lot of individual squares and then you have to put them together and I don't know. It's just, right now, granny squares, like I said, I do like them, but they're not my top priority right now. And I will be needing to make another 2 baby blankets for my mother-in-law because she's going to be a great-grandma again. She just found out that her granddaughter is expecting her grandson is the first one and his wife, and now her granddaughter is expecting as well. So I will probably actually do maybe a Tunisian crochet blanket for one of them. For the granddaughter's blanket, I'm trying to use different yarns, different stitches, so nothing is exactly the same as the other couple's baby. So, because apparently that's just a whole nother thing. Don't want to cause any problems if I can avoid them. But yeah, so that's a little update on what I've been doing, what I've been working on, and what I've basically finished except for weaving in these tails. I'm going to cut this down, obviously. I'm not going to leave this whole thing here. And then weave in what's left and weave in the starter tail and it'll be done. So, alright. Well, if you liked today's video, please give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, please, and haven't already subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe and then the notification bell so you're always aware of when I put out new content. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay warm or cool, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.